Hey, what's up guys? Hope you're all doing well. Today I'm in the garage working on a seat upgrade for the 2020 Street Bob, and I was keeping the seat under wraps for a while until I was sure it was going to show up in time. But I ended up going with the seat from Saddlemen. Nicely packaged. So the seat I picked is a Saddlemen step-up seat. One of the reasons I picked this seat is because I plan to put a sissy bar in the back here, so I needed something that covered up the fender. To install, I have to remove this, turn it around, and bolt it back in so that it can attach to the bike. So it's got a nice little rubber washer that covers your fender so it doesn't get scratched up. Flip this guy around. I'm not going to torque these too much, just get them nice and tight. So first step is to get the old seat off of here. So this is the stock seat from Harley-Davidson, and it's held in place by one single bolt. So I'm going to pull that out right now. I've actually lost a couple of these seat bolts on my last bike, and I ended up having to put some thread locker on there to get it tightened down really good. All right, well that was easy. So one thing I wanted to check while I had the seat off is the rear shock preload adjustment here. And for my weight, it should be set at number 2, and it looks like it's currently on number 3 right now. That lines up with the little arrow that's here. I don't know if you can see that or not. But I need to make a quick adjustment on this. So I picked up this little, I think it's called a spanner wrench. When I had my Sportster, it was used for adjusting the rear shocks, but I think this will also work for this bike. Okay, so this preload is currently set at 3, and I need to turn it that way to get it back to number 2. So that was the first time I've ever adjusted one of these mono shocks, and it was a lot more difficult to turn than I thought it was going to be, but now it's set on number 2, which according to the manual is the correct position for my weight. So next I need to relocate this little screw mount here, and that's just held in place by a little plastic C-clip. And that's going to be relocated to the back of the fender where the new seat is going to bolt down at. This plug just pops right out. And this little piece here, this seat mounting nut has to be relocated, so I ran a wire through here just so that it doesn't drop out the bottom. And what I'm going to do is just pull this little C-clip out of there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and drop this down carefully so it doesn't hit anything on the way down. So if you notice, this is keyed, so it only fits in one direction. Luckily, I can reach my hand up under the rear fender where this is going, so I don't need to run a string through it again. So I'll put this cap on the front one now for safekeeping. So now I'll just put the clip into place and on to the next step. So I need both hands for this, so I'll be right back. So the plastic clip is back on there, and now we're ready to put the new seat on. I'm going to angle the front end down so that it can get under that little lip. There it goes. All that's left is to line up the back end and put your screw back in here. But I did pick up a special one for this install, so let me show you what that looks like. I picked up a replacement screw for the seat. I'm not going to use the factory one anymore. I got this one because it's got kind of a security mechanism on it. So this little protective ring goes around it to prevent people from trying to pull this off with pliers or something. Put a little bit of Loctite on it, and I'm gonna go ahead and install this right now. So here's the bit that comes with it to go ahead and do the install and removal. Yeah, that looks nice. I really like that. So the seat install is complete. I'm gonna go take this for a spin and test it out.
Alright guys, it's been a couple of weeks since I filmed the first half of this video, so I still have not taken this thing out for a ride yet, so this is going to be my first ride and first impressions on this Saddlemen step-up seat. So the first thing I noticed right off was that the sitting position is much better for me personally over the stock seat. Now, of course, you know, I sat on the thing in the garage and everything, so I kind of had a good idea that it was going to work out really good, but you never really know until you get out on the bike for an actual ride, you know? So the problem I was having before with the stock seat was that there wasn't much of a lip on the back, so you had a tendency to slide off really easily, and I've heard of a number of other people with that same bike having the same issue with it. So what happens is you give it a little bit of throttle and you're holding on to the handlebars for dear life so you don't fall off the back, and it makes shifting really difficult because you've got so much grip on the handlebar that you've only got like 1 or 2 fingers that you can shift with. It's not a real comfortable experience. So now with the Saddlemen seat, I don't have to concentrate on holding myself onto the bike. The seat holds me in place very, very well. So I can just concentrate on shifting like normal. So position-wise, the seat definitely lifts me higher up off the bike than the stock seat. I'm not sure about the forward or backward positioning. It feels the same to me, maybe a tiny bit forward. And the reason I'm saying that is because when I got this bike, I felt like these handlebars were pushed a little bit too far forward for me, and I was thinking about adjusting them about 1 inch backwards. And now with this new seat on here, it actually feels like a good handlebar position. So I'm thinking that it's probably scooting me forward about 1/2 inch to 1 inch. Yeah, so it's been a couple of weeks since I've been out on the bike. Work's been really busy, and the temperature has just been crazy out here, especially if you wear full gear. I try to wear full gear all the time. I mean, the only thing that's kind of lacking right now is I just have regular jeans on, so my legs aren't super protected, but I do have a mesh riding jacket and, you know, helmet, gloves, and full boots, so it gets a little warm. Yeah, I've been looking forward to getting out here and trying out this seat, which, by the way, I purchased on my own. I have no affiliation with Saddlemen in any way, just a customer. So I'm out running a couple errands today, but I definitely wanted to take the bike because it's been waiting too long to find out if the seat was going to work for me or not. So I checked out a couple options for seats when I was looking at this one, because I just wasn't sure if all the hype was real. I've seen so many good reviews on this thing that I didn't know if I could trust it or not. I figured, you know, 1 of 2 things: either it really was as good as everybody is saying, or they have really good marketing. But it looks like I got lucky and it actually is a good seat. So just wanted to put that out there. Now, you know, I mean, my total ride time on this thing right now has been like 15 minutes. you can kind of tell right away. You know, I'm gonna need to definitely break this in quite a bit. I do notice that the seat is quite a bit stiff, but you know, I don't have any hot spots or anything yet, but that will probably happen after a much longer ride. But it's doing good for quick rides anyway. Safety first. Now, I've seen this seat on a number of bikes, and I don't know, I think it looks better on here than something like the Lowrider S, because this has the bobbed fender, so it makes the seat look longer, or the fender look shorter, one of the two, but I just love the way it looks on here. So if you're curious, the other seat that I was considering was the Lepera, I think it's called the Kick Flip, and really similar look, but the reason I didn't get that one is because I wasn't sure. You know, I was reading a bunch of reviews on it and stuff, and there wasn't much out there. There were a couple YouTube videos, but they really didn't go into too much detail, so I was trying to find out if it raised you up as much as this step-up seat, and without being sure, you know, that was one of my key deciding factors to buying this, so I didn't want to take the chance and have to, you know, send it back or something like that, so I ended up just going with the Saddlemen. Man, it is a beautiful day today. If it wasn't for this heat, it would be great riding weather. So right now it's 109 degrees out of a predicted 114. That's why I wanted to get out here and get my errands done early, since I was taking the bike. Man, it's amazing, you know, what kind of difference one little change on your bike can do. I know the seat is a big change potentially, but just the feeling of control is so much better. And I actually test rode this bike a couple years ago. It was the 2018 model, and you know, the first time I got on it, it really, I believe it had the same exact seat that this one had stock. And I just rode it around Harley-Davidson, you know, their parking lot where they do the rider training course, and I was like, nope, bring on the next bike. So I've got my errands done and heading back home, but yeah, it's hot, but now that I've been out on the bike, I kind of just want to keep on going. I wonder if there's somewhere else I could go. What's up? Alright, so I'm winding down my first ride on the Saddlemen step-up seat, and first thoughts and impressions, I'm really happy that I picked this one over the other options, the other seats I was considering. So at this point, I would recommend this seat. It's been good on the short ride so far, and I'll definitely be giving a follow-up review after some longer rides, just to let you know how it's holding up. As a sufferer of chronic back pain, I've got some lower back problems that I deal with, and it's definitely much more comfortable than the stock seat. After a couple of really short rides on that stock one, I had back problems for a couple days after that. Yeah, guys, so what do you think? Do you think this one looks better on this bike than the stock seat? Because looks definitely do play a part, yeah, when choosing new parts to upgrade your bike with. So I'm gonna end the video here, guys. If you liked the video, click that like button, and I will see you guys on the next one.